Connecting with nature, what does it mean? Does it mean going out into the woods and having a sort of meditative experience? If we are to become more receptive to nature and connect to the world around us, we have to be willing to accept an exploratory agnosticism that we don't know as much as we thought we did, that we don't have as many real truths in our pocket as we thought we did. Indeed, it is impossible for us to go into the future without a clear mind. And to clear our mind, it is important that we recognize that we are but a small, small speck, that we have lived for a mere brief moment in time, and that we have so much to learn and so much to gain that it is impossible for us to think that we have it all figured out. Does it mean being more receptive to the world around us? Connecting with nature is something that people have done for thousands, if not millions of years. The reason is we are a part of nature. And so to say that we are separate from nature is to deny our entire legacy as living beings on this planet. And it also denies the fact that, as we have shown through science, essentially that human beings and the rest of the entire life kingdom, the tree of life, is a product of dying stars. And it is for this reason that we have a most profound realization that there is no separation between ourselves and nature, that there is no separation between the artificial world that mankind has created for itself and the world that mankind emerged from in the first place. These two worlds are one. And it is for that reason that we do not need to rely upon the structures, the complex, chaotic order of nature in its environment to connect with the world and to find a place of serenity and peace, which is what we were all really looking for beyond just the vacuous life that we live in order to consume products. We seek something greater, a connection with something more deep than just superficial titillations.
So I got this tank top.
Receptivity to the world around us is possible no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing. It's possible because our minds and our brains and our spirits have this capacity and have a yearning to utilize it. Through being receptive to nature and the world around us, we are also more receptive to the people and to the lives in which inhabit the world around us. The importance of this is that if we can become more receptive, we can also become more empathic. And the importance of empathy in our time is just as important as enlightenment was, or reason was, in the 1700s. The importance of empathy is that we can then connect, not just with nature, but with ourselves and with others. And if we are going to have any future, any sort of potential as a species, we must be able to have empathy for our fellow human beings, to gain a sense of oneness with the world from which we emerged in the first place. It is for this reason that the importance of nature be understood. Because despite the fact that we are, no matter where we are, in a state of nature, there is a great importance to understanding the complex fractal structure of nature and applying that understanding to our daily lives. It is possible to understand the nature of the universe through the fractal geometric shape. And easily, we can see this shape and pattern in the forms of nature. Very rarely do we ever see this in our own artificial creations. It is possible that we could integrate this into our works of art, our technical feats, and even into our interactions and reflections about our daily lives. Nature is something that is very important to connect with. Because if we can connect with nature, nature in turn can connect with us. And this is not just a sort of poetic notion. Nature will connect with us in a way much like our mimetic concepts do in our daily lives. Nature is full of memes, potential memes that we can recognize and apply in various ways. The various networks and crannies that exist in the shapes of nature, for instance in leaves and in other plant life, have the potential to show us how best to utilize space rather than in linear and rudimentary hard shapes. We could use things much more similar to a fractal and thus use the space that we have available to us to the utmost efficiency. All of these and more can be adduced from just simply observing the natural world. And when we become more receptive to the world around us, when we calm our minds, slow down to the pace of nature, we have the capability of realizing things that were never possible before. If we can become receptive to nature, we can recognize almost immediately, and especially through various techniques and methods that have existed for thousands of years to peer deeper and deeper into the nature of the mind. And once you have peered deep enough, and I assure you this is true, once you have peered deep enough into the mind, the question of who am I becomes that much more profound. And the answer is even still a more profound realization, which is that I am nothing. I am no one. There is no ego in terms of an individual self. What I am, you are. And everything else is. It's consciousness. To become receptive to nature, then, results in our ability to recognize the unity of all things, that there is no self, lowercase s, that there is only one self, uppercase self, capital S, that the self, capital S, is the essence of all selves, that there is a sea of self, and that if we can enter into this receptive state, it doesn't matter where you are. You can become one with that self by being receptive to your thoughts, feelings, and actions.